This issue of failure has, and the U.S. unique ability in the U.S. to deal with it has been a topic for 15 years, and I think I will say I think we're reaching the tipping point where I think we're seeing this change, and a couple of reasons why. First of all, I think there has been a lot of conversation about this, and I think a lot of awareness of people who go into the entrepreneurial community that this is about an organic process of having plenty of tries at this before you're going to get where you need to go, because there's been more publicity around the success stories, and all of those success stories will be people that talk about how many false starts they had along the way. I think the second thing is, and this is the value of the lean startup, which is the more we encourage people, and this is a lot easier to happen overseas because there's been less money available, but the more we encourage people to do this, to bootstrap the startup and to understand that what the startup is about is really formulating the idea. It's got nothing to do with incorporating, and the number of people that get caught up on the technical packaging around starting a business. It's around really getting to the heart of the idea and how you're going to execute that. And you can do that without actually giving up your day job. You can do that without actually taking on any financial risk. You share the load among a team. And often people are sitting there doing it in the corner of Starbucks, or they're doing it on the weekend. And so because it's takes so much less capital now and so much less infrastructure to be able to do this in a world which is driven a lot more by technology and innovations, even for, I might add, a lot more traditional products. The same was true about reinventing the cup of coffee with Starbucks, or I could give you a dozen other examples who've got nothing to do with technology. But certainly what we're seeing now is, I think, an awareness that what you're going to be doing along the way is constantly recycling your idea and recycling your team. So in a lot of my talks, I've actually focused on the notion of leaving the word failure out and focusing on what this is really about is a constant organic recycling process of ideas and people, such that eventually, it will organically form into a firm which has tested ideas, which has gone through the iterative process of getting the formula right, and which is ready because it's mingled in disruptive ideas with people with a unique knowledge of industries who really understand how to turn that disruptive idea into a viable economic innovation. And so I think you're seeing, if you view it as a journey like that, and you view it as being about, an experimental, gradual process, rather than, oh, I had an idea for a company, I started the company, and it's funny, it didn't work, or I started the company and it worked. I mean, you wouldn't believe the number of people whose businesses were successful by accident. So I would certainly say that it has been an important thing, but I think because there's been so much awareness of it, and because we're seeing a lot more bootstrapping with startups, I think you'll see it's increasingly less important, or shall I say it's increasingly less of a competitive advantage to the United States. And you'll see a lot more people not frightened about failing at the beginning. They're open to the idea of, the idea isn't working here, let's adjust it, let's change it. And I think we're certainly seeing signs that this is not a topic of conversation among the most vibrant startup communities that are emerging around the world.